All right there. Hello there, beautiful people. So my name is Carol, the Tarot Reader, and today what I'm going to be talking about is abundance and manifestation. That's the topic, that's the theme, that's the vibe. But specifically with colors, like how can you possibly use colors, like everyday colors in your life to bring you abundance and prosperity, whatever that may be for you. Because the thing is that what I've learned, so I'm a tarot reader. However, I've been reading intuitively for over 10 years, whether that is with air, with stones, with oracle cards, with tarot. Tarot, it just happens to be my favorite tool. So therefore, I'm Carol, the tarot reader. However, the way that I've realized that all of these energies, they're just tools, but what I realize is the way that the energy tends to talk to me is through colors. That's what I see. I see colors, and that's what speaks loudly to me. And that's what I really want to talk about, is like how can you use these colors in your everyday life, right? If you can't see a reader, you don't know exactly what, but you know exactly what you want to draw, because you know yourself, you know your heart, you know exactly where you want to go. The one thing that I've learned about being a reader for this time frame is that nobody knows you better than you. Nobody knows you better than you. You know exactly where you want to go. Sometimes we just need a little bit of help, and that's why we go to readers, just for a little bit of guidance. But however, nobody's going to know nobody better than you. So that's what I really want to talk about, and I want to share my experiences with you as into what I've learned so far with these colors through all of my clients that I've had so far. But my focus is always surrounding around abundance. It doesn't matter what the topic of conversation, whether I'm talking about relationships, love, relationships, not always romantic, but it is relationships. We're talking about your home space or your career. But it's always about how do you feel? How does your heart space feel? Do you feel happy where you are at? And if you're not, then how do you get yourself there? Because that's what abundance is all about, is how happy do you feel? Because when you feel happy, you literally work at your most optimal level. And when you work at your most optimal level, that's when you're like, opportunities come in. That's where the abundance is, because you're literally happy and you're doing the stuff that you're meant to do without anybody telling you, because you're just in a good space for it. And that's what really brings those doors of opportunity for you. So now I want to start with the colors. I always associate it with the chakra system, but just because I feel like it's an origin that everybody could kind of understand. Does anybody not know what the chakra system is here? All right, perfect. So the chakra system, at its simplest form, they're energy center points that are located in our body. We have a lot of different energy center points located in our body. However, the ones that I'm going to be talking about are the 7 major ones. These are the most popular ones. They're just more common. You know, these are the third eye. This is your crown, your throat chakra, the very common stuff that you see. And so the first one that I want to talk about is the crown chakra. What is that? So the crown chakra is located above your head, and that shows up as white. Now, this is how you could use white in your life. Now, the reason why it shows up as white, because it's your clear connection to God. That's your first connection, right? And that's light. Your first connection is light, and that's to God. That's to the universe. Use whatever word that resonates with you. I'm going to use the word God, but if that doesn't resonate, just replace it. So, you make that connection. That's white. So what does white represent? It represents clarity, like just clarity. Can you see the direction where you're going? It's a knowing. How does that show up on this like earthly plane? You ever seen a child or an adult who just knew they wanted to become a doctor since they've been a kid? Like, I don't know, I just knew that I wanted to become a doctor. It's just a knowing. Nobody had to tell you that. Or if you're walking down the street and something feels funny, down the alley, you're like, don't go over there. It's like, why? I don't know, just don't. It's just a knowing, right? That's it. So if for whatever reason you don't have a clear direction or where you want to go, or you just kind of feel aimless, you're like, I don't even know where to look. White. White is the color. That's why you have those, white crystals. It doesn't matter if you wear white socks. The point is that it's white, and you set the intention that, you know what, I'm going to bring this energy in for myself, because the thing is that every color has a vibration, and that vibration of white is clarity. So if you need clarity in your life, call in white, bring it in, set the intention that that's what you want to bring into yourself, because you're looking for direction. Now, the next color that I want to talk about is the color purple. When I see the color purple, that for me, yes, it is your third eye, and that is your intuition and your intuitiveness. But the other thing that I've noticed and that I see is that it's also a very leadership color. So like you could stand on your own 2 feet. It represents leadership to me. Like let me give you a prime example. So somebody, you have to know how to trust your intuition and your gut when you have a leadership role and leadership position. It doesn't matter if it's in your household, in your job, or wherever. Anytime you got to take control, it doesn't mean that you're not fearful, you're not scared. It just means that you do it through fear anyway, because that's what a leader does. And that's the energy. So if you're going in for a job interview and you're nervous and you know you got to step up your game because you want a manager role, you want a certain position, it's like, nah, I'm ready for the next thing. Then I would recommend the color purple, because it carries that vibration for that. And it helps you to trust your own intuition, the things that you are seeing, so you don't hesitate. If you ever become like indecisive, if you feel you're a really indecisive person, then the color purple is also a good color for that, because it helps you so that you could stand in your truth, because you don't let anybody manipulate you, because you know. All right. You could use these colors interchangeably as well with white and purple. Purple leadership, very good for that. Now, the next color that I want to talk about is the color blue. Now, blue speaks very loudly. That's all about your throat chakra, but it's about being authentic. How authentic are you? How truthful are you? Not only to yourself, but to others, you know? And I feel like to others, yeah, whatever, but how truthful are you to yourself? That's where it really, really starts. How authentic are you? How you show up? Now, I get a lot of people that show up in front of me where they know exactly where they want to go, but they're too afraid to even be themselves, to even showcase so that they could go in the direction where they want to go. And it has to be all about your throat, speaking your truth. And when I also see that, it's all about intellect as well. You know, that's a very smart person, a person who likes knowing knowledge, likes reading, likes speaking, likes singing, likes speaking out. And you can't really shut that off. And if you do, it throws you off, because it throws you off of being authentic. So when you lie to yourself, you literally throw your own game off, you know? All right. Now, the next color that I want to talk about is goes in your heart chakra. Now, your heart chakra, I get two colors there normally. The first color I want to talk about is pink. Now, with pink, that always shows up for me as relationships, loves, of emotions. And if you think about it, every time somebody says love, they're like, oh, rose quartz, rose quartz, rose. Like, why? Because it's pink. It carries that vibration. It carries the vibration of love. You know, you think about Valentine's. It's like, it's not an accident. There's a certain vibration to that. It's about building community. It's about building relationships, but relationships that matter. Your chosen family. That's the energy. So if you're looking for your actual circle, your group, your social group, because I get a lot of people that are looking for their community, whatever that may be for you. It's different for me. It's not always going to be a metaphysical community. Sometimes we want to be actors. Sometimes we want to be writers. It just depends what's in your vibe. But the thing is that you give yourself that permission and you open yourself up to that. And pink is a very beautiful color, you know, also for romance. But I just want to throw it out there for other things as well. And then when I see the color green. Now, when I'm mentioning these colors, I'm mentioning them so that you could possibly use these colors in your life as well. So, like, always associate these colors when you're looking at stones, when you're looking at the clothes that you wear, because that's what you're calling in for yourself. So the other color that I want to talk about is green. Now, green is beautiful. It shows up in two different ways sometimes, a dark green or a light green. I know if it's light, then it's like, that person is happy. They're in a good spot of like anything that they do is just they just bring good vibrations. But if it's like a dark one, like a dark green, then I know that that person needs some healing, and you just give yourself permission to actually heal. So if you're in a space where something just happens, where it just shakes your world and you don't even know how to deal with it because you lost something, whether that's a loss of job, home, career, person, it doesn't matter what it is, it's like green is a beautiful color to work with, because not only does it help you to give yourself permission to heal, but you're giving yourself permission to like deal with it and not carry it, because sometimes we just don't know what to do with like things that shock our world because we're not ready, because it just hits us out of nowhere and we're like, oh, what do we do now? Well, you could start with the color green and then figure it out after that, you know, but to the minimum, at least you know what to do with these colors and how to help yourself out. If you can't, get to one of these lovely healers out here. Then the next color where am I? Heart, solar plex. The next color I want to talk about is your solar plex. Now, your solar plex, that's yellow. That's like big, that's loud, that's your raw, that's your powerhouse, that's your willpower. That's the line that's in with every single individual in here. That's how courageous are you, how brave you are. Everybody in here experiences fear, the difference between you and anybody else of whether you push through that fear or not. And sometimes when we're trying to push through fear and we don't know how to do it, it's like you lean into that yellow, that solar plex, that line within you. Kind of like in the Wizard of Oz, you got the lion and they're always looking for his heart and his courage. It's just like, you could find it and you could call it in with energy, with vibration. You're in the perfect spot for it here in this area. And then the next color that I want to talk about is, sacral. So sacral, that's all about your creativity. But it's more than just creativity. It's about, that's your stage of like strategizing. If you need to strategize and you need to think outside of the box, if you need a plan, it doesn't matter if you're planning for a baby because it's located where a baby will be formed. But it doesn't matter if you're building a family or if you're building a business. The thing is that you're building, you're designing, you're creating. I could be building a garden, and I'm going to still use my solar plex in that area. But you're giving yourself that permission to think outside of the box. It's just like you're expanding, you're being creative. You're not being basic is what you're not doing that. You're not being that. You're being unique. You're allowing yourself to give yourself that space. And that's what that color is really beautiful. It allows you. It's even used in Halloween in a quote unquote time where you should probably possibly be scared or dark or whatever. But it's like, no, it makes it fun. It makes it like now you could really express yourself and get creative because of that orange. All right. Yeah. And that orange is very beautiful. Now, the next color that I want to talk about is your orange for your sacral, for creativity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I probably misspoke. Okay, so the next color that I want to talk about is your root chakra. Now, your root chakra is about grounding in your home, but that's where you actually manifest because it's how you make things tangible, like for real, like real. It's like, how do you get to that manifestation stage, right? That's your root. And that shows up to me in like somewhere between the range of like red and black. Black is beautiful. It's like when I get that color, I'm gonna get to black for a second, but I want to get to red first. When I see red, that normally, first of all, that's a fire. Like that's fire, that's rage. So when people say I see red, like it's real. When you get so mad, you literally see red. It's just like, okay, it's because it is fire, it is rage. How are you using that rage? How are you directing that rage? Because the thing is that it is a protective color because sometimes you do need to physically protect yourself, or sometimes you do need action, like that action movement, so you need that red. So if you need to get to work, if you're a procrastinator, you need to do something, you need to do physical work, and you need to get something to light yourself up, red is a really, really good color. And not only that, it's a deep color, so it's also for deep. Well, I know that if it shows up on an individual, that's a deep person. There's nothing superficial about that person. It's deep conversation, deep thinking, everything's deep about them. And it's also a good color for healers because everything you do is deep. If you are a healer, red is a really good color because you're going in deep. All right. The next color I want to talk about is black. Now, black is beautiful because the thing about it, the color black that I see, and when I see black, is more like obsidian black, tourmaline black, all that black, right? But the thing about black, it is a very protective stone. And what I've learned about black is that when you allow black to enter into your circle field, is what you do is that you kind of give yourself like a blank slate, like you allow yourself to create a zone of focus because the opposite of black would be white. And white, what it does is it lights up everything, brings out clarity because you're looking for clarity. But in this sense, you would not be looking for clarity. You're just focusing. If you're focusing and you're grinding, you're doing your own thing and you don't want, to get bothered by other things around you because you're like, no, I need to stay focused. I can't get involved with shenanigans. Then it's just like, then black is a really good color because the beautiful thing about God that I've learned, that he will never leave you in complete darkness. That any point that you're in complete darkness, that what's going to light up and shine for you is going to be your road and your light. And that is the only thing you need to focus on, the only thing you need to see at that moment, because you're working on you and you alone, because you are there's like the saying, you're only as strong as than the weakest link. I couldn't remember the saying, you're as strong as the weakest link in your group. So in that sense, sometimes when we need to do our own grind, we need to do our own hustle, we need to run our own game, then it's just like black is a beautiful color. And it's a protective color because it pushes out shenanigans. It pushes out crazy because it leaves you on your own journey, and it only allows the light to shine through. That is why it's a protective stone, because even when people try or anything tries to enter into that space, it pushes it out, because that's not what it's meant for. And you set that intention. That's why it's a really good protective stone, because it protects you and it protects your journey. It protects your energy. And that's how you could possibly use colors in your life. So when you're out here, nobody knows you better than you. Remind you that. So whatever it is that you're trying to call in, whatever abundance and manifestation dreams that you may have, just think about the color, whatever it is that you might need, and carry that with you. Whether that is whoever it was that spoke before me, hey, wear one of their jewelry pieces or wear a color of that on you. Nobody needs to see it or know. It's just, you just set the intention that you're wearing it for that reason, and that's how you could use color in your life. And thank you for being here today. Are there any questions?
Just to kind of piggyback off what we were talking about earlier.
Do you mind if you ask the question?
Oh, sure. Thank you again so much for this presentation and just kind of going over the chakras. It's very enlightening. I wanted to ask what your thoughts were about being drawn to particular colors, whether it be in stones or in paintings or clothes or any kind of design. Like, for instance, I'm really drawn to like copper or like a coral and like a turquoise, and it's that combination. And I don't know, again, if there's significance with that, why we were drawn to certain colors in our daily life. So I just wanted to get your thoughts.
Because it's what you're attracting. Everything has energy. If you think about the people that you hang out with, or let's just put a whole group of people, a random group of people, and you're naturally going to start breaking off. And you're naturally going to start creating cliques. Right? Why? Because there's a certain vibration. The same exact way is with the stones, the same exact way is with you. So it's like sometimes people ask me, oh, how didn't you know what card to pull? I didn't know anything. The only thing that I know is that you carry a certain vibration, and that vibration matches either the card, or it matches the stone, or it matches the color. But the thing is that it has the same vibration. And so it's just like you naturally drawn to, you're naturally called to it, but it's because it's what you need at that moment. Yeah, so it's everything has a vibration. So if you vibrate high, you're gonna call high vibration. You vibrate low. It's like when they say misery. What's it? Misery loves company. For some reason, sayings today is not my thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's the saying? I don't know. That's it. It's everything is energy. Everything is energy. How you put that's why I love doing the readings. Everything that I do is all about abundance and manifestation. How do you get you to your happy place? How do you get you to that space? Because that's what's going to bring you your abundance and manifestation. And that's what I have for you guys today. Now, if you guys would like to, I always say stay, I love my peoples here, so I always say stay for their talks. But if you would like to see me, if that's something that catches your attention, then please do stop by on my table. I do offer free one-card pulls. And always the topic is abundance and manifestation. Doesn't matter if we're talking about relationship, love, career. And you will also get your color.
So you mean you offer a free card pull?
Just one. And you get to know your color, and that's it. Yeah. But if you guys like to have a reading with me, then that's what
I have just a really quick follow-up question. When you do your readings, do you specifically, when you're connecting with your client or the person on the other end of the table, are you seeing colors? Like when you are interacting with them or pulling their card or just looking? Yeah. Are you seeing like colors permeate from them when you're connecting and doing your readings?
So what happens is, and to be honest, I'm learning this myself. Because the other day somebody showed me an aura picture and I was just like, I didn't know I could read auras. Anyway, so what happens is that normally the person comes in front of me, and I'm going to tell you, I really don't know. I know nothing. I know nothing about anybody in here. There's always an assumption, oh, she might know. I know nothing. But the thing is that when the person comes up to me, they instantly, there's like a connection where that person gave me permission. And there's like, they gave me permission, because the thing is that there's always some sort of divine God intervention. Because the minute that you ask God for help, it doesn't matter whether it's through prayer, through intention, or whatever word you want to use, is like now, not only did you, like now there's like, okay, she wants to know something. It's going to come through somebody else at this moment. And now you open up your space, but I already had my space open, because that's already my purpose. I'm already aligned with that. So it's just like, okay, you just came in and you just said yes. And the minute that you do that and you enter my space, then that's when I could see a color. And then I tell you what that color means for you, what it represents. And it should make sense to you. It should make zero sense to me. You know, because I'm like, because it's for you.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. You mind if you?
I cannot see colors, but I can read people, you know? But I don't like to read people, because you really know what they think and what is going on in their mind. So I don't like it. But I think, as you say, sometimes you have a special connection with people. So some people I can read without the permission. But some people, I need the permission I can be able to read.
That's interesting. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Oh,
Can you talk a little bit more about manifestation and what that means?
okay. That's actually a really good question. Okay, so specifically about manifestation, how do you use this? How does this work? Okay, so I already went through the chakra system. I get an idea. I want to open up a business, right? This is my knowing, my crown. I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I just know. I need to quit my job today. I need to go open up this business, blah, blah, blah. It's just a knowing. I wake up, right? And then I could see it. I could see this job. I'm like, nope. I could see it. I could see it with my eyes. I could see it with my inner eye and my outer eye. You cannot convince me of nothing else. And then you start speaking about it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do this LLC. I'm gonna go ahead and, set up my social. I'm gonna do my thing. And you get yourself excited, right? Because the thing is that you start researching. You go down the YouTube rabbit hole. That's all about learning. And then you get it, your heart space gets excited. You allow that to get excited. Now I get to my solar plex. Now I'm gonna give an example. You get so excited about this job, right? But I have what we call a quote unquote block in my solar plex. So now I get to my solar plex and I'm like, ooh, I'm so excited about this. I'm like, bam, and I try to show up, but it's like fear kicks in. Now I can't even post nothing on social media. Now I actually don't do anything. I did all this work, but I didn't actually show up because fear kicked in. Fear kicked in. Now I don't have that. Now, do I still have that fear? Yes, I have that fear, but I've been working on my solar plex, right? And I'm like, nah, I know this is something I know this is meant for me, so I'm gonna do it anyway through fear. Screw what everybody else got to say. I just don't care. And you got to get to that I give to attitude, right? And it's like, once you get yourself there, you're like, all right, I'm gonna execute. When you decide to execute, it's just like, that's where you get your solar plex, because it's all about creativity. You're putting it on your calendar. It's thinking outside of the box, right? Because it's all about planning. It's all about strategizing. That's your sacral. That's your creativity. Planning, strategizing, putting it on the calendar. On the day of execution, because it's already on the calendar, on the day of execution, that's your day of manifestation. That is the day that you manifest it, And it's just like, okay, because you had a dream and you just pushed it down. But the thing is that if we have a certain block somewhere, we could get thrown off a little bit. It doesn't mean it's not there for you. It just means it throws you off a little bit. Say if it's in your throat, you can't even speak about it, or you get tongue-tied, or you don't know how to say it, or you get nervous, or you're just like, I don't know how to say it without somebody making me feel like it's BS, or it's just, whatever. And that's how you manifest. You go through these stages, but you push through anyway. And that's how you manifest. Does that answer your questions? All right. I think one more, yeah?
So wearing the colors help when you manifest, like if you want something?
If you set the intention. Because the thing is that you're directing energy. Everything's energy. So all I did was feed you information So now you have knowledge that you didn't know before. If you apply this knowledge, then therefore this is how it could help you. So if I just taught you about jinxing today, everybody knows that jinxing, like ginger, sorry, I said something wrong. Ginger, everybody knows that ginger naturally is good for your body, right? It's gonna help out your immune system, all these things. I could preach that all day. The thing is that if you take ginger just one time, and you just set the intention, if you take ginger just one time, it's not gonna work. But if you take ginger for a prolonged period of time, it is beneficial. And you use these colors when you need them. You set the intention, if you are ill or you're starting to feel like you get a cold, that's when you're like, oh, I'm gonna start drinking my teas, right? But you set the intention, I'm gonna start drinking my teas because it's gonna make me feel better because I know that this has some benefits to it. So in the same way, you start feeling things, you're like, okay, I feel this. I set the intention, and I'm going to wear this with that intention to help me out throughout my day when I need it. So if I have a job interview and I know I'm nervous as shit and I got to get through it, I'm going to wear the color yellow and purple. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. That is my talk, ladies and gentlemen. I hope to see you. And follow me on YouTube. I'm also on YouTube, Carol the Tarot Reader. You can find me there. I do free abundance readings there monthly for each zodiac sign. All right. You're welcome. Bye.